SNOMED-CT is a terminology that enables computers to understand the meaning of clinical data. It's a basic part of what makes healthcare data computable. Today we'll be looking at how you can use SNOMED-CT in your applications. First, we'll make a search engine to show up clinical terms. Then we'll look at how we can make logical decisions using this data. First, you have to grab a copy of SNOMED-CT. This may vary depending on your region, but in India you have to download it using the MLDS. Just register, give them some basic information, and you'll get an account. The way SNOMED-CT works is by having different editions and extensions for different use cases. Almost every extension depends on the international edition, and in our case, the international edition alone will suffice. After the download, extract all the files. The file structure here is important. The Delta folder contains only what changes have occurred from the previous version. The full folder includes all changes made to SNOMED-CT since inception, and for most use cases, the snapshot folder, which is what we'll be using, is the terminology at this point in time. So inside the snapshot folder, again, we have refsets and terminology. Refsets is a huge topic in itself, and we won't get into that right now. Open the terminology folder, and you'll see concept, description, and relationship files. That's all we need to get a basic SNOMED-CT search engine up and running. The concept file includes all the concepts that are there in the current version. We only need to know about a few columns to get started. The ID is a unique identifier that is given to each concept. And active is a Boolean value which states whether this concept is currently active or not. A snapshot can still include inactive concepts for historical reasons, but when you're making a search box, you want to filter these concepts out. Next, we'll look at the description file. The concepts don't really tell what a concept is called. The description file tells you that. Here we have an ID, which is a unique ID for this particular description. It has nothing to do with the concept ID that it's talking about. The concept ID is a separate field that tells what concept it's talking about. And it has the term, which is the term that describes what it is called. We also have type ID that talks about what kind of a description it is. It can be a fully specified name, which is the official term for the concept, or it can be a synonym. Next, we look at the relationship file. In my opinion, this is the most complex file that you need to understand. So SNOMED-CT is a polyhierarchy. That means that concepts can have children and it can also have parents. It can have multiple children and multiple parents at the same time. And concepts can also have relationships with other concepts. For example, take a look at pneumonia. It is a type of pneumonitis and it is also a type of lung consolidation. It has about 30 children, which include all the different types of pneumonia itself. It also has an associated morphology of inflammation and consolidation and the finding site of lung structure. All of this information is represented in the relationship file. The type ID tells you what kind of a relationship it is. It can be is-a, which is a special type that's used to describe parent-child relationship, and it can be of other types too, like for example morphology or finding site. All of these type IDs are in fact SNOMED-CT concepts, and you can just search them to know what they are. Now the source ID and the destination ID tells you the direction of the relationship. In our example of pneumonia, there is a relationship of type ID is-a from pneumonia, that is the source ID, to lung consolidation, the destination ID. And the finding site can also be represented as another relationship of type ID finding site from source ID of pneumonia to destination ID of lung structure. Enough theory, let's look at some code. We'll be reading the files using Golang, and we'll be pushing all of these concepts to an Elasticsearch instance for the actual search. I'm using Go because it's a fast compiled language, but you can use any language of your choice. First, we'll start by defining a global map for concepts. We'll start with the concepts file. Just read it and then separate out all the columns by using some split function. In our case, since we'll be building a search for data entry, we don't want inactive concepts. So we are checking if the active column equals to 1 here, and only if it is active, we are including that in our global map. Next, we'll read the description file. Again, the same way you read it, split it using a split function, and separate out all of your columns. And here we are checking the type ID. So if type ID equals to this particular number, it is a fully specified name. We'll append this concept to the concept.terms, And if it is the fully specified name, we'll also set it as the concept's name. And we'll then add it to our global data map. Now let's look at relationships. Again, open the file, split it, the usual. And here, again, we are checking if this relationship is active or not. And if it is active, we are adding that to our relationships array, which is inside the concept. And as it is, this won't really do much, but we'll look at the next step where we process these relationships into something more meaningful. In our search engine, we want to be able to filter based on what type of concept it is. We don't want body types showing where somebody is searching for a disease. So to do that, we have to go through the tree and then propagate the type to its children. To be more specific, we push the is-a type of every parent down to its children. The way we do that is by doing a breadth-first search. And since there are multiple parents and multiple children, we have to go through the nodes multiple number of times. Here is some code that my friend wrote. I am not a computer scientist, so I still don't understand this. See if you can. After we are done with that, we can start pushing this to Elasticsearch. So we need to define the mappings for Elasticsearch to understand how to interpret these concepts. We will make the term a completion field and we'll give it a context of is-a. That enables us to have really fast auto-completion even while filtering based on category. This will have all the different terms that a concept can have. So even if they search the concept by different names, it will lead them to the same concept. Then the relationships is an object and the is-a is a keyword. We'll create an index called SNOMED and we'll use this mapping. Now we have to start pushing all of the concepts that we created into Elasticsearch under this index. This code is pretty straightforward, so I'll just leave a link to the GitHub repository where this is hosted. There is just a lot of code for the progress bar, so don't be intimidated. Once this process is done and our index is complete, we can now search on our Elasticsearch instance. While this is a good learning experience, if you just want something simple, you can go and use Hermes or Snowstorm. I recommend using Hermes because it's very lightweight and I also wrote a blog post on how to use it. Now let's make a search bar that will display different diseases first. And based on the disease, let's also show them where the disease is on this chart. We'll start by building a web component for this search box. We'll talk to the Hermes instance using Axios. We'll be using lit element and lit HTML to actually make the web component. We are also using shoelace.style to get professional looking input elements. But you can use any modern front-end library like React, Angular, or Vue. We'll get the input from the user using an input box, and we'll store that as a variable. Next, we'll make a request to the Hermes instance, and we'll get back all the results. Note that I constrained the search results to only clinical findings using the expression constraint language. We'll then show them all as a drop-down here, and once they select, we will set that as the value of our current search box. Now let's make another component to show this chart. This is an SVG, so we can highlight different parts based on where the disease is. This is where SNOMED-CT comes in handy. Since we know that each disease has a finding site, we can look that finding site up and then also look at what type of finding site it is. Since we propagated all the is-a to the children, even when someone looks up brain, we know that it's a type of head structure. So we only need to map a few body structures to this SVG chart. And now we have a search box that not only gives you all the diseases, but also knows where it is located. Now this is barely scratching the surface of what SNOMED-CT can do. To patient-friendly translations to population-level studies, SNOMED-CT can be used for a lot of things. And if you're more interested, you can go onto their site. They have a lot of free courses available. You can check them out. I personally finished the foundation course and the implementation course, and that definitely helped me understand SNOMED-CT a lot more. So I'll see you in the next one.